Today, we'll talk about Work Zone. We'll see the demo. We'll see the system, what are its capability. But before that, let's try to understand Work Zone first. So I promise I won't spend much of the time on the slides. I will try to spend as much time as I can on the system. But just to set the context here, I'm spending some time here. And you have the Q&A box with you. Feel free to ask your question. We'll love to answer those. So before talking about Work Zone, what's the motivation behind Work Zone? Why it was required? Why was a call for such a solution from SAP? So at this point of time, the employee experience is pretty fragmented. Every organization, there are multiple applications that they have to interact with, be it an HR application, be it a ticketing application, be it a payroll application, time and attendance. They can be using a separate learning solution. So altogether, there are applications for finance as well. There can be solutions for Concur or for traveling. These application can be SAP application. These applications can be third-party application. So you can see that there are a clutter of application for an employee. So remembering them, going to them, every time logging into them. So SAP then came up with a solution that we call as SAP SuccessFactors Work Zone, which is basically a single layer of, or we called it the experience layer. You can ensure that you can surface data from different application, whether it's an SAP application, whether it's a third-party application, as far as the application has the capability to interact, to send out the data, to interact. WorkZone has the capability to surface, to provide seamless experience to the end user. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, a starting point why WorkZone was thought of. WorkZone comes with its three different pillars as well to provide to extend the solution. First is SAP, and these are part of SAP Build. These can be your SAP Build apps where you can create a low code, no code solution. Every organization at some point of time requires some custom solutions as well to cater to their processes. For example, you are an organization where you have to create a QR scanning application. You have your SAP built. You can quickly create it. You need to create an RPA, automated process, because no organization want to ask the employee to do a repetitive task. They prefer to automate the process. You have build process automation for that. On top of that, you can design different sites as well. All of this comes under SAP Build, a family to which SAP Work Zone belongs to. You get licenses for that. All of this is SAP technology, ensuring your data never leaves SAP landscape. Now, talking about SAP Work Zone and its key capabilities, the first and the impression that the person gets is when they log into the system. The first page that they see, what we call as the home page. Now, this home page has to be heavily customizable as per the organization need. When I say customizable, I'm not just talking about putting different colors, putting different logos or images. It should also be able to surface data that is required by the organization. Some organization prefer to have a global experience, and then they can have they want to create some smaller experiences as well. These can be geography-wise experience. These can be different business experience as well. For example, HR experience and IT experience, or experiences in different countries for different set of employees. All of that can be catered through WorkZone. You can, like I was talking earlier, that you have multiple applications. You have the capability to integrate those applications on the very first page so that the person is able to view them right when they log in as per the requirement of your organization. These pages and the complete environment and the experience that we are talking about has to be low code, no code. So SAP ensured that all of this is drag and drop. You have the capability to edit these work pages on your own without requiring help from any external third party. You can create these experiences on your own with simple clicks, dragging and dropping, adding images, and then publishing them to your end user. These experiences are created through different cards and widgets. So this is a terminology we use in Success Factor Work Zone. You can create different cards. You can have different widgets which are capable of surfacing different data. Now these cards can host images. They can host different images. You have standard out-of-the-box card, which have standard integration with SAP apps like SAP SuccessFactors. And you also have the capability to build custom cards as well. What I'm talking about right now will make more sense as we go into the session. I will also show you these capabilities inside the system, also talk about them in detail. Again, if you have any queries at any point of time, feel free to use the Q&A box to ask those queries. There can be different types of card, like I was talking about. They can host images. You can use these cards to have a poll in your organization. You can add multimedia like a YouTube link. You can add simple text as well. You can have a task. You can also create your organization feed. Now, on top of that, WorkZone also comes with the capability where you can create what we call as workspaces. These are groups which can be public, which where any employee can go and can consume the content that you have hosted there. These can be private workspaces as well, which are for a specific set of employee. Maybe a sales team want to have a group which can be only and only accessed by people in your sales vertical. Similar can be the case for a finance vertical. These workspaces can be for your external work people as well, who are not your employees, but you want to cater some information to them. You can have these workspaces for them as well. Now, there can be different parts of these workspaces. There can be an overview part. These can have feeds. They can show the key members to whom a person can reach out to. This is very useful for an onboarding experience that we will see in the session. You can recommend content. You can schedule your event. You can host your content. You can create your knowledge base. You can have forums. You can have tasks. As you can see, the list is long. It doesn't stop, trust me on that part. On top of that, though, like I was talking earlier, an organization can have a global experience, an organization can have a geography-wise experience, an organization can have experience for an specific employee role. On top of that, WorkZone also have the capability, what we call as my workspace, where an employee can go and can decide that what is important to him, and accordingly he can adjust that and he can consume content from there. So as an employee, I can go that, okay, so for this year, my goal is very important to me. I need to ensure that that is very easily accessible to me. I can go in my workspace and I can add my goal that has been created in success factors on the very top so that I can quickly access it. I want to see my mandatory trainings that I want to complete within this financial year. So it is up to the employee that what is important to him and what he wants to keep here. So this feature is called as my workspace. Again, it is up to the organization whether they want to enable my workspace for their end user or not. It can be a journey where they can start small, and once they feel that they are mature enough to enable this feature, they can enable this. Now, like I was talking earlier about different application, whether it is an SAP application, whether it's a third-party application, you have the capability to host them or to surface them inside a work zone. We call them as the launchpad capability. So here you can see on my screen that there are certain application which you can create a link to, which can open within work zone without creating any kind of a coding. It's pretty simple. I'll show you some examples in my demo as well. Now, this is a technical architecture of the work zone. It uses SAP BTP technology. It has multiple component. You can use identity authenticator, that is SAP, that is IAS for authenticating into it. It has its own business application studio through which you can create more custom solution, which we will talk about in detail. You can have your own workflow management. You have the mobile services available. You have the capability to integrate it with not only cloud-based application, but also on-premise solution as well, whether they are SAP or any third party. Like we were talking earlier, that a lot of employees access system through a handheld device that can be a mobile phone. SAP Workzone has a dedicated app in App Store which can be downloaded by an employee and through which they can consume the same content that is available on web through their mobile phones as well. Now, we will very quickly talk about the integration and extensibility, and I'll show you some use cases at the end of the demo. Um, So here you can see that you can have integration cards available with you. Now these integration cards can be used to surface content from a third-party application. A finance guy might want to see the commodity prices. They don't want to log in into a third application to see the commodity prices. They want to see it right within WorkZone. You can create a UI card through API. You can pull that data and ensure that the live data is available to your end user. You can have your business workflows embedded inside it. You can embed chatbots as well within this tool. You have the complete AI capability through which you can push and pull data to ensure that you are able to surface real-time data to your end user. Now, some of the use cases, and I promise these use cases are on top of what we are going to show you during the demo. One of that, so like you can see, there are different departments in the organization. It can be an HR, it can be digital supply chain, it can be procurement, it can be customer experience management. You have the capability to create use cases for all of this. For example, for HR, you can have a onboarding experience, which we will see today. You can have a learning experience that we can show you. Likewise, you can create guided experience as well. So for example, from an HR experience point of view, you can give a guided experience for paternal leave, where you can not, where they can, employee can go and not only apply leave, but also ensure that they are able to read through the policies as well. Similarly, for a employee who's working in procurement, he can see like I was talking about, he can see his status of purchase order status. He can see his guided experience around resolving his PO issues. So you can see that these experiences can be created for different set of employee. One of the use case which in our experience we have seen with multiple organization is the use case of deskless worker, people who do not have access to desktop. For example, in airline industry, which are heavily dependent on an handheld device. They are consuming information from a mobile or from or from a tablet. WorkZone is capable of being surfacing the exact content through those handheld devices as well. Now, these are just some standard cards, like I was talking about, that we surface content through different cards and widget. These can be standard cards which come out of the box. These can be custom cards. So these are some of the standard cards that are shown. with the standard integration into SAP SuccessFactors. There are some guided experience as well that we will take you through. Okay, and these are just some of them. And then I will revisit and we'll talk about that why SAP SuccessFactors works on. So now I will be switching to the system while I'll also see if we have any Q&A. Can we create a custom form in Work Zone? Yes, you have the capability to create a custom form in Work Zone. You have what, like I was talking about, you can create custom cards. Okay, through those custom cards, you can create these custom forms. These custom forms can be static. These custom form can be a guided experience as well. I will show you some guided experience so that it become more clear that how it will be. I am resharing my screen. Please confirm when my screen is visible to everyone. I hope the screen is visible. Okay, so like I was talking about, that the home screen is something which gives in the first impression, the impact. Now, the what you are seeing here is a talent team work zone. That how we use it, how we demo it as well. So like I can be greeted with a nice image. Now this can be carousel, and you can have a link on top of it, which can be redirected to another window. A lot of time, an employee comes to this portal with something already in mind. They might come with a leave policy that, okay, I'm looking for a leave policy. So like you can see that I have a universal search available here. Any content, any link that is available here, any document to which I have the access to, I can simply come, I can search it, it will show me like it was just showing a minute ago. On top of that, there can be other applications as well in the organization which are used. Um, like I was talking about earlier, it can be an SAP organization, it can be a third party application as well. You have the capability to have these link of these application available here. How they open inside a work zone, just a little more, and then I'll show you that the seamless experience it provides. The one of the best part about this, what you're seeing as support channel, is that I can have 50 application available here. The system looks into my permissioning that to which or application Tessa has the access to, and accordingly it will surface only those specific application to the end user. Then the earlier we were talking about the experiences for different departments. There can be an HR department that they want who want to create their own experience. There can be a L&D department who want to create their own experience. You want to have a separate link to an IT help desk where an employee can go and raise their concern, which can be resolved. A lot of time organization runs staff offers as well. There can be a wellness and benefits group as well. There can be a staff corner where employees can communicate among themselves. There can be a CSR group. I'll take you through all of that one by one, um, but I just want to cover everything that is available on the home screen. And again, this is how I see it. This is how we see the persona. This is a complete blank canvas that is available to you as an organization. What information you want to surface, what is more important to you, what should go on the top, what should go on maybe the third page or the fourth page, completely up to you. Now, then there can be the company communication feed, which can be a global feed. Here, you can see everything that is happening in the organization. I can see, okay, so there is an event that is happening on the 3rd of December. I can say, okay, I have some featured members as well. I can see some recommended workspaces to me. I can see some featured content that is available. There can be some quick links as well. If I want to add a blog, if I want to add a wiki, if I want to create a poll, if I want to change my email setting. Um, what all notifications are there? Are there any approval requests that I need to attend to? Are there any other invitations for any event or any workspace that I need to attend to? It also shows me the recently visited workspaces as well. Similarly, a marketing team of an organization can have featured news as well. For example, last month we won a award, customer award, in Lisbon. We can promote that. We can promote different news as well, news article as well. Now, if I feel that okay, this is something which I'm interested in, I can simply click it, and as an employee, I can read this completely, the detail. I can comment here as well. I can like it. I have the capability to rate this as well. So all of those capabilities are there with the employee. In case I just want to print it, I have that capability as well. You have the capability to control all of these actions as well. That whether this will be an article where you don't want a comment, you can simply turn it off. You can have a calendar available here as well. Now this calendar can show that what are the upcoming events here. I can view the event. I can enroll for this event as well. Now, quickly, let's go through few of these workspaces which we have created. So, like I was talking about earlier, that you can create workspaces which are basically groups. These can be public groups, these can be your private groups as well. So, one I have created what we call as a staff office. Now, when I click this staff offer, it will take me to it will talk about that, okay, the organization is providing some vouchers here. I can simply go for the vouchers, or I can say, okay, I'm looking for staff offers in fashion, and then in fashion I can go to apparel, and here I can see that okay, there are coupons which are available for Nice One. They are also available for Zara, Mother Care, Shein. So any such kind of offers which are run by an organization, they can run through these workspaces as well. The other that I showed you earlier was around staff corners. Now there are some communications which are very meaningful for your employees. These can be your birthday day messages. These can be your um, these can be your condolences. All of those are available here. So like you can see that you can create different sections here. Okay, now you can say, okay, so there's a birthday coming, there is a congratulation, maybe for a certificate or for a promotion. There can be a farewell that is about to happen. There can be a condolence that now, as an employee, either I can just go and consume this information, or if you want to enable the commenting and liking, like I was showing you earlier, I can go and I can comment and I can wish the person who is leaving the organization a very best of luck. So it is completely up to you that how you want to run these groups. One more example that I want to show is around the CSR activity. So, like you can see that a lot of organizations run the CSR activities in their organization. These can be charities, these can be around the art, these can be sustainability goals, these can be some sports event that they are promoting. They can put it on their calendar, which an employee can go, and if they find it interesting, they can be a part of it, and they can create a detailed subsection on these. So for example, if I remember correctly, I have something around, okay. So yes, so I have something around charity. So I can see, okay, what are the different charity initiatives that are going inside the organization? Do I want to be part of it? You have the capability to add tasks to these as well. So there can be a charity event that is happening. There can be tasks that you might be asked to bring some old clothes that you want to donate in the charity. You can add those tasks as an admin, and then your employees can come and they can do those tasks as part of these events. So like I was talking about earlier, this can be your global experience. This can be what is something which is available to all the user. Now your HR team wants to have their own experience. Earlier, we were talking about deep integration with SuccessFactor, where we have some standard cards which are available, which automatically pulls data from SuccessFactor and Surface. So as an employee, I can go and I can see, okay, so what is my role? Who is my manager? What is his or her email ID? And all of this is customizable. All the employee central fields that are available to you in EC, a lot of them are available in these cards. It is completely up to you as an admin that which of these fields you want to enable and which of these fields you want to disable. In case you have the capability to even edit these fields as an admin or as an HR Spock in Employee Central, you can make those transactions from here as well. Like we are currently showing you the employee experience, but in case I was an HR Spock, I would have the capability to search for a specific user and change their attribute. I am a manager here, and hence I'm seeing my direct reportees. In case I have no person who is reporting to me, then in that case, it shows me my PS. So currently in your Employee Central org structure, Tessa has two reportees, that is June and Janet, and hence their information is visible. Again, these attributes that are displayed here, these attributes are among many that are available. It is up to the admin to choose. So for example, let me very quickly show that to you as well. And all of this is a standard out of the box. When I'll switch to custom, I'll be highlighting that. So for example, I can choose that which of the any managers field I want to showcase, or which of the organization details I want to showcase here. So like you can see, it is completely, it's very easy for an admin to configure all of this and then for the end user to consume. Similarly, a lot of time, one of the biggest issue for an HR is the document management. A lot of time an employee reach outs to HR that I'm looking for this document, I'm looking for code of conduct, I'm looking for leave policy. You have the capability to host all your document and ensure that only the relevant document is visible to the relevant employee. So like you can see here that I have used a very small real estate here on this page to surface some of the featured document. Okay, so here I have just divided into four categories, that is your compliance and regulatory documents, internal policies and procedure, human resource document, employee benefit and compensation. They have the capability to they have the capability to consume these documents. So for example, I can simply click here and I can go through this document like I was talking earlier. They can comment, they can like it as well. You have the capability to turn it off as well. On top of that, we have seen a long list of standard SuccessFactor cards earlier during our presentation. What we have done is that we have enabled few of those tasks as part of this persona. Like here, you can see that you have a time off card. Now this shows you your that how much is your balance leave. So you can say I still have 19 days and days available. Is there any upcoming leave? Any job application in which the person has applied for, any award that the person has received, any links that you want to put, you can have that, you have that capability as well. You can surface multiple dashboards as well. These are some of the standard dashboards. So here you can see the vaccination status of your employee in different location, in different department, and this will show you the count of the vaccinated people who are fully vaccinated, who only have the first dose. Now, if you recall, earlier we were talking about the guided experience. There are some guided tiles which are available out of the box here. One of them is a spot award. Now, spot award is a success factor functionality. But to ensure and to provide a unified experience, SAP has created a guided experience here for the same. So for example, you have all of your configuration available inside work zone. You do not do any configuration here in work zone. All of that is available in success factors. It is just that work zone is able to surface that here and provide a end user a guided experience. So I can do step 1, then I can do step 2, and then I can give Mr. Hill a spot award. So this is what we call a guided experience. Like I was telling earlier, there are some out of the box guided experience available. At the same time, you can create your own guided experience as well. There was a question earlier that can we create a form based custom card? Yes, you can. It can be a static card. It can be a guided experience like I have just shown you. You have the capability to create that. We will show you some cases at the end as well. Now, there are some other cards as well. There can be a compensation statement available where the employee can go and then they can see their compensation information. There can be a pay slip. Now, a lot of time when the employee wants to pull his or her pay statement, these can be made available in work zone as well. Now, this is a standard card for success factor payroll. There can be a discussion piece here as well. So this was around the HR persona. Now, taking you to the career and learning persona. So here you have the capabilities to search any training that is available in your success factor learning. This search that you are seeing on my screen, this has a deep integration, the success factor learning. Any training that you want to learn, employee can simply needs to write its name. It will search it in success factor learning. Now here you can see some of the standard success factor cards which are available out of the box. One of them is required learning. Any training which is part of my compliance, which I need to do as part of my compliance, will be made available in required learning. What is my if a curricula has been assigned to me, which is already overdue or which is going to be due in next 30 days, that will be made visible here. Sorry, my apologies. In case I'm a manager and I have an approval request that has been raised to me by my reportee, I do not need to go into success factor learning. I can approve it here. I can see my performance goal. I can see my development goal. A lot of time, what happens that revisiting performance goal and development goal is happening only when it is due. It is not something which happens around the year. It is not revisited. You can put them in your work zone. You can ensure that they become a kind of a constant reminder for the end user that yes, there is a performance goal that I need to work upon. There is a development goal which is already created for me. Earlier, we were talking about different applications as well. Like I was talking about maybe an SAP application, maybe a third-party application that can be hosted and that can be opened within uh, work zone. So we are all aware about success factor career worksheet. Now, what I have done is that I have created it as an application here. Again, this is not just a tile. This is how I created as an application. There is no coding that is required for that. You can do it, an admin in an organization can do it on their own. Now here you can see that I have my career, Tessa has her career worksheet open here within work zone. Currently, I have not switched to success factor. The experience is seamless. The complete career worksheet page is opening within work zone here. I can also click career path, or I can simply take a call and go back, circle back to my work zone. Similar is the case with opportunity marketplace, growth portfolio, or even my learning library. I can access all of that and I can open those within inside WorkZone. Now there can be a learning calendar for me. I can see my upcoming trainings on a learning calendar. This calendar is different from the calendar that I have shown you earlier. This calendar is your specific to your learning trainings. I can see my learning history here. I can see my activities. Now these activities are coming from my continuous performance as well. There might be an interaction that is happening between the employee and his or her manager. My manager has just made a comment on that, and hence it is visible in my activities. Now, earlier we have seen is here is the required training, but for an employee, it is not just the required training. There are other types of training as well for which the employee has enrolled for. So all of these training will be visible here, which are mandatory as well as non-mandatory training. Earlier, what we saw as a feed was a global feed. You can create a specific feed as well for a specific set of user for a specific purpose and ensure that only those are visible. So you can create a learning feed, which is maybe around a social group that you have created after the training, where the attendees needs to go. They might be asked to create a small project. So there can be a social component to a training that has just happening inside your learning management system. Now, till now, we were talking about what all is available standard. Now we will slowly start talking about what all we can quickly integrate from a low code, no code perspective. So one of one of the guided experience that like we were talking about earlier is when in an organization the performance cycles starts, there are certain information that has to be provided with that. So as an employee, I can come and I can start my performance cycle journey here. Okay. So when I'm embarking on a performance cycle for this year, there are certain things that I need to know that why this performance cycle is important to me. What are the different key dates of this performance cycle? So here you can see that I have configured all of this using the standard framework and I have created a kind of a guided experience. So this is what we called as a wizard, where you can create a guided experience for an user as well. So here I can see that, okay, these are the key dates. These are the different phases inside my performance cycle. And then I can see that what is available to support me. Now there can be different phases as well. So the first phase which I have defined here is the overview of the performance cycle. The next is the performance cycle details. Now you can send out different detail that what as an employee I need to do, what as an ad manager I need to do here as well. What are the tips for success? Once the employee has gone all through, like I was talking to you earlier, that you have the capability to embed different links inside WorkZone, inside guided experience. So this is one of the low code, no code way that I was talking to you earlier. You create all of this. Just allow me a minute. And what I have done is that I have taken the URL of performance inbox and I'm using a web content card. Now, this is a standard capability of WorkZone. There is no customization here. What I have done is I have just taken the URL from SuccessFactor for the performance inbox and I have pasted it here. I have defined that what is the height in pixel, and that's it. Once I have done this, you can see that within this guided experience, the employee will be able to access his or her performance inbox within WorkZone. So this becomes a kind of a guided experience for an employee rather than just accessing the performance form and then making action to it. You can provide all of these detail in a very finer way of a guided experience to your end user. So this is one of the way you can also create guided experience. Like I showed you that there is no coding that is required. Now, taking it to a next level. Now, we were just talking about, till now, we were talking about SAP landscape, SAP products. Now, there can be third-party solution as well. There can be solutions, custom solutions that you have created on BTP. Similarly, I'm just stopping the share for a second and then I'll quickly reshare. Just allow me a minute, team. So similarly, Talent team has created multiple small solutions for admin. For example, there can be, and what we call them blind recruit, we call them talent box. So like you can see that this is a talent box interface. Now this is a third party application that we have created and did using the BTP framework. Okay, and this include skill transformation suite. This include your class management. This can include your complete end job profile framework. This can have your blind recruitment. All of that is available within WorkZone. Again, as an end user, I do not need to log in into another screen or another application to access this. I have this capability within WorkZone. You can see that it looks like part of the WorkZone only. Again, I have just ensured that I have the URL. I'm embedding it using the web content card. You can do the same with your third-party application. It is just that you need to be mindful of your SSOs, your single sign-on. You need to ensure that your SSO is in place and your end user can have a seamless experience available to them. I can work on this application from this very screen. Now, very quickly, I will just, again, my apologies, go to, we, one of the experience which is very critical for the organization is the onboarding experience, an experience that an organization um, gives to a person who has recently joined the organization. So what I'm about to show you now is a onboarding experience that can be created within WorkZone. So here you can see that I have now switched my user. I have now logged in as Rahul, who has currently not joined the organization, and he or she is currently he's in onboarding phase, and he can see get information about the organization because it is not just the onboarding activities that he needs to perform. You want to make him understand the organization, that what is talent team, what is its story, what are its different vertical. There are consulting, there is project management, there is sales, there is product management. It can have its own feed. There can be an event as well, which he or she be interested in. On top of that, currently all of the onboarding activities have to be performed inside onboarding module in your success sector. Now, you have all the configuration available in onboarding. What WorkZone helps you is with these standard cards, which pull the information from your onboarding and it surface them here to an end user, which is your onboarding. So here again, a standard guided experience. All Rahul can come here and can do all of his complete his onboarding activities from here only. So like you can see that he can fill out his personal detail. He can fill out his any compliance form in case he has to. Um, there can be some task that might be assigned to him. He can do those tasks. He can submit his vaccination status. There might be some learning that are assigned to him as before that he needs to complete before he is joining the organization. So again, if this was not the experience, then Rahul has to go to multiple places. He has to complete his paperwork in onboarding. He has might have to go to people profile for submitting his vaccination status. He has to access learning to complete his learning. All of that is available here with the guided workflow in a single screen. Again, these can be divided into different phases. So these are the tasks which are cut out for him before his first day. There can be certain tasks that he needs to complete on his first day, which can be meeting the buddy, picking up the identity card, picking up his laptop. Similarly, you can create a task for him for first 3 months. There can be a goal for him that he needs to complete for first 3 months. You want to evaluate his performance. So all of those information can be given to him through this guided experience, what we call as an onboarding guided experience. You can give information about the management as well. You can give him information about the HR contacts as well. You can give information about the company here as well. You can you can have a discussion board. A lot of time a new joinee is reluctant in asking questions. Um, so what can happen here? They can have already see the history of the question that have been asked previously, and it might be exactly the same information that Rahul might be looking for. So he can consume it from here. There can be a quick poll as well for him, which he can attempt here. So this kind of an onboarding experience can also be created using WorkZone. Now, before I wrap up the session very quickly, we talked about the custom capabilities of WorkZone, that WorkZone has the capability to create custom solutions as well. Talent team internally has also created a solution. We called it Blend, which is an learning experience platform. I will take 2-3 minutes here just to show you how powerful WorkZone is in not only surfacing its standard capability, but also the custom capabilities as well, the custom solution that you create on top of WorkZone and BTP layer here. So this is a what we call as Blend. This is a learning experience platform. So here I have logged in through Lisa. So you can see that all the information that is surfaced here is through custom tiles and a custom application that we have created. We called it Blend. It is a learning experience platform. It is organically integrated into SuccessFactor Learning. It pulls data from SuccessFactor Learning. It can pull data from LinkedIn Learning. It can surface content from your SharePoint or any other third-party content provider. No matter where your data is lying, we ensure that we are able to surface it to the end user within a single window. So for example, as an end user, when I'm having a learning experience, there might be topics, certain topics as an end user I might be interested in. So we provide the end user the capability to select topics in which he or she is interested in, and accordingly data is surfaced to them. We have an announcement widget that we have created here, which can be used for communicating any new action or assignment. You can create academies here as well. You can have content that you can save for later. You can have see content that you have interacted with recently. You can ensure that you are surfacing content from LinkedIn Learning or any other third-party content provider. All of these are um, standard integration. You have the capability to create different learning paths as well. This is a very detailed tool which in itself requires a demo of at least 30 to 40 minutes. I'm just rushing through, just showing you the capability here that all of the information that you're seeing is created using SAP Work Zone and BTP framework. So for example, here I have created a learning path, which is a leadership development program. And you can see that using the Work Zone capability, custom capabilities, we have created a learning path with different content. These can be mandatory content, these can be optional content. This content can be might be hosted inside Blend. This content might be in success factor learning. It can be on SharePoint. It can be on any of your third-party content provider, be it LinkedIn, Coursera, or any other. We have the capability to surface it using Blend. So you can see that how capable and how powerful WorkZone is, and you can use it to not only create a create experiences using standard framework, but also create custom applications as well. So that was all. Now I'll take question. Feel free to ask question. I hope we are on time. Yeah, we still have 7 minutes remaining. So let me go and take question. Okay, so the first question, can we create a custom form in WorkZone? I think, Mohammed, now you can see the capabilities. You can see that you can create either a static card. You can also create a guided experience. How WorkZone is different from Jam. Okay, so Jam is destined to be sunset. Um, WorkZone, people say that it is a replacement of Jam, but I prefer to call it Jam plus plus plus. As you can see, that not only it offers capabilities which were available there in Jam, that is your workspace and working as a social platform, but also having a deep integration and providing capability to build different solutions as well. So in my experience, I called it Jam plus plus, and WorkZone is as powerful as the imagination of the people who are configuring it, people who are creating the personas. So next question is from Muhammad. Muhammad, so in this custom form, I can capture user input and save it to the database. Absolutely. You can have use different database. It is all API capable. You can the input that is coming up, you can store it in HANA database. You can store it into a third-party database. We have a use case where we stored it in Employee Central MDF as well. So completely up to you and the volume of the data that you are storing, where you want to store. Can we target featured news for geographies and department? Absolutely. Like I was talking earlier, that there can be a global experience. We have clients who have a global experience which are managed by a central team, and then there are experiences. Then they have different geographies as well, where they have different admins which manage them. So absolutely, you can have these featured news. You can have these feeds for a global experience as well as for different geographies and departments. So, Chris, I think I answered your question. So there is a successive question. Yeah. Is there a way to search for the training in the landing page? Yeah. If you remember when I went to the learning experience, there was a search bar. You have the capability to search training, success factor learning training from that very search bar. You have that capability available, Chris. WorkZone can answer the campaign management needs. Archana. Archana, if I understood it correctly, you are asking about, so it can either be that whether WorkZone can run campaign or not. So my sense is yes, WorkZone can be used to run different campaigns. Like you can see that when I was on the very first screen, we have featured content, we have different articles which we have there. There can be charity events that you can run through, or sustainability events as well that you can run through WorkZone. In case whether answering question, like I told you that there can be a discussion board which can be managed by an admin. For example, I can be an admin for a sustainability group. If there are any queries from any of the person, I can simply go and I can answer those. The best part is that it remains in the history, so that if a person have a similar query in mind, they can simply go visit and read the previous answer. I hope that answer both of the question. If not, feel free to ask again. I'll be happy to answer. And Dinesh, next question. Is it possible to assign training to a candidate using success factor learning? Yes, you can do that, Dinesh. That is completely doable. Can that is available in success factor learning, not in work zone. Work zone only surfaces the content that has already been assigned in success factor. Can we assign items, program, curricula to external candidate like we do in do it for employee? So this question is related to success factor learning management system capabilities. But yeah, the answer to that is yes. We can you can reach out to us. We can give you the answer in detail. Unfortunately, it's not directly related to the topics that we are covering today, Dinesh. But yeah, feel free to reach out to us. We will be more than happy to help you with this. Chris, searching for training already assigned in the learning plan. So, Chris, you're saying that the learning plan that I was showcasing you earlier, where the person might have already assigned the training. Let me quickly look into that. Just give me a second to answer your query. So there are, yes, that is doable. So you can, in the learning plan widget that is available in SuccessFactor Work Zone, you have the capability just like you have in SuccessFactor Learning earlier, where you can search the training. For example, I have 20 trainings which are assigned to me. Yes, I can go and I can search those a specific training by title description in that learning plan. How can we enable WorkZone in preview system initially? Are there any help documents guide how to proceed with all of these configuration? Surya Rani, yes, there are documents that are available. Help.sap is the place. In case you are facing any challenges, difficulties following those, because it has multiple component, you need to ensure that you have your IS enabled. Before that, you need to ensure that you have full access to your BTP cockpit and those things. So if you have all of those available, you can do that. I have just answered, I have just responded with the URL as well for that specific document. My apologies. Let me give you a more specific document. Okay, so I'm just putting it in the chat. My apologies. I cannot see your question again, so you can copy it from the chat. I have two more questions. Chris, onboarding training, we use SSO for our system. Can a user access as soon as they are in the system to complete the training prior to joining the company? Yes, my sense is when you are saying SSO, you are referring to success factors. Yes. So basically, a work zone pulls the data from success factor. Once the employee has the capability to log in into success factor, you can ensure that the email that is being triggered to them have the deep link to work zone. From there, they can log into the experience that I just showed you. They can complete these activities from that console as well. I have one more question from Ahmed. Can we create an approval workflow? Yes, Ahmed, you have that capability. It is just that the three pillars that I talked in very initially in the session, that is SAP Build, SAP Business Process Automation. You need to use those to create these custom create a custom approval flows. But yeah, that is doable. So I think we are already 2 minutes past time, and all the questions that were there, I think I have answered them. So thank you, everyone.